It is Mardi Gras in New Orleans. 1 million people are on the streets, the cell towers are failing, and every single person is searching for the best gumbo New Orleans has to offer. But while these SEO gurus are telling you to wait 6 months to build the right organic authority, these local restaurants are fighting a war that's going to be won or lost in 6 seconds. If you weren't on the map pack, when that parade turns the corner, you're going to be invisible and no one's going to try your gumbo. Period. So today, I'm going to break down the gumbo SEO recipe. Yeah, sorry for the pun. And it has nothing to do with writing blog posts. I'm going to show you the exact system that a dive bar in the French Quarter can use to outrank a 5-star legend with 10 times the budget. We're going to look at how to hijack high-intent local traffic in 2 weeks instead of 2 years. Let's go ahead and get started. So I'm over here on Google, of course, and we're just going to type in Gumbo New Orleans. A very common search, I'm sure. And this is what we've got. We have the Gumbo Shop, the Old Nola Cookery, and Mulates. All three of them have surprisingly bad reviews, if I'm being honest. 4.6, 4.7 is usually the sign of a pretty good restaurant. Some people just leave bad reviews at perfect restaurants. But I'm going to go ahead and start by doing something that almost no one ever does. I'm going to hit more places to get a better view of what's going on. I want to try to find the best gumbo, not the gumbo restaurant that has optimized for Google's algorithm the best. Okay, so here's a good map of New Orleans. You can see why it's called the Crescent City. We got the French Quarter right in here. Awesome. I'm in New Orleans quite a bit, so I'm pretty familiar with it. Cochon is not known for gumbo, but a fabulous place. Anyway, so first things I'm going to be looking at. Now, if you own a restaurant, pay attention to this. Google has specific GBP categories. Most of these GBPs, I'm guessing, are going to use restaurant, but they actually do have Cajun restaurant and Creole restaurant as available options for the primary category. So if I look at the Gumbo Shop, we have Creole restaurant. Excellent. Really glad to see that. Name of the restaurant actually has the keyword in it, gumbo. Let's take a look at the menu. Because they're ranked #1 for what I'm guessing is a competitive search, if I look at the menu, I'm probably going to see an actual menu, not just a PDF or images. Perfect, yes, and this is what I was expecting to see. So if you own a restaurant, go into your GBP, make sure you build out the restaurant like this, okay? Where you have to add individual items, individual dishes with the price. You can add a description. This is what Google wants to see, especially if you're trying to rank for something as competitive as Gumbo New Orleans. They've done this correctly. Good on them. Okay, awesome. Let's see Old Nola Cookery. Okay, so here we just have a restaurant. So they haven't chosen Cajun or Creole, they've just chosen restaurant. I'd probably like to see Cajun or Creole as the choice here. And if I look at menu, excellent. They've also done the menu correctly. Not surprising, ranked #2. Let's take a look at, well, let me open up a couple of websites for the Gumbo Shop, Old Nola, and then let's look at Mulates. I'll open the website for them also. And here we have Cajun restaurant. That's great to see. 4.1 is a little surprisingly low, considering they're in the top 3, but they have Cajun restaurant. I bet their menu is filled out correctly, and it is. So these are likely big parts of the reason that they're able to rank. They've done things that Google wants to see. Google wants to see that you've taken the time to enter your menu correctly like this. Awesome. So let's scroll down. Let me look at the Napoleon House. They have 4.6 ratings. That's pretty high, higher than anyone in the top 3. They have 7,000 reviews. That is, only the Gumbo Shop has more reviews than they do. And I know the Napoleon House. I've been there quite a few times. It's a great spot if you're ever in the New Orleans area. This restaurant has been around for like 100-something years. And honestly, it kind of looks like it's been around for 100-something years, but it's a great spot. I'm not surprised to see a 4.6 rating. They just have regular restaurant. They don't list Creole or Cajun. And I'm guessing they didn't take the time to fill in their menu properly. Looking at a lot of these metrics, they should be in the top 3, but they're not. So let's see what they did for their menu. They filled it out correctly. Okay, so I was wrong. So they also filled the menu out correctly. So I'm going to be very interested in diving into the Napoleon House website to get an idea of why they're not ranked higher. They really should be. It's a really well-known spot. And the review quality and quantity is higher than anyone in the top 3. This, by the way, is why I often say that reviews don't get you into the top 3. Reviews drive that conversion. You can imagine with 7,000, 4.6, they would be converting a lot better than Mulate's. They're sitting at a 4.1. We also have a couple of others. You can see Koshan, I mentioned, 10,000 reviews, 4.6, pretty good. But I'm not going to dive into every single place. Let's take a look at these three. Okay, now I specifically searched for Gumbo. So let's see how Google is ranking them for Gumbo. Now, okay, so this, I don't like this very much. These pop-ups, I know they can work. I'd like to see them come up after I've been on the website for a little bit, not straight away. I don't know the restaurant well enough. I haven't decided if I'm going to go there. So I'm certainly not going to enter my email address. Now, it is important to keep a note. Probably 2/3 of Google searches are on mobile devices. For restaurants in particular, that's more like 80%. So I'm looking at these restaurant websites on desktop. Very, very few people will ever look at a restaurant website on desktop. So if you have a restaurant, make sure that it is designed with the mobile first. I've worked with a lot of web designers. What they'll often do is design the website in desktop and then look at it to make sure it looks okay on mobile. It needs to be the opposite. Especially for restaurants, but most websites at this point should be designed for mobile and then check to see if they look okay on desktop. Even Google itself, Googlebot is crawling with the most recent version of mobile Chrome. So everything Google sees is the mobile version. But this is where we're at. I'm looking at the desktop one. Okay, so let's take a quick look. And I just want to see what's on the homepage here. So title tag, they have the word Gumbo in it. Of course they do. That's the name of the restaurant. And they have New Orleans. You know, that's great. The target keyword and the city is in the title tag. Probably a big part of the reason they ranked. We also have Gumbo in the primary heading in the H1. I don't see the word New Orleans here. It is, of course, here, but I like to see the city name in the primary heading, and it is not here. This photo looks very nice. There's some nice large shrimp in there. Got some pasta. It's unusual. Usually gumbo is served with rice. Let's keep going. Order online. Great. Best gumbo since 1948. Sure. They have the Google reviews embedded. It's a little, not exactly accurate. They rate a 4.4. That's the 4.4. So they're showing, that would round to 4, but whatever. Okay. Keep coming down. World famous. Talking about New Orleans. Best gumbo shop in America. Who voted at that? I'd be interested to see that. Anyway, keep scrolling down. Okay. Then we got some review embeds. I wonder if they have... Oh, so they have chosen specific reviews to embed. They don't have all of them. That's fine. You don't want to embed the bad ones. Then we have the GVP embed down here. That's fabulous. Okay, so now let me look at the menu. And what we want to see is a menu that's easily visible, easily copyable. That's what we have here. Unfortunately common that a lot of restaurants will just put images or PDFs of their menu. Those are hard to read. Google doesn't read those nearly as well as they read a menu like this. Google can read PDFs, but the bigger issue is a lot of AI models really struggle to read PDFs. So we really want to make sure that the menu is in regular HTML, just as they've done here. That's great to see. I would like to have a downloadable menu just so I could download, share it, etc. But having the menu in this form is excellent. And that's all we really... So we have some recipes. I'm looking for marinara, remoulade. Okay, here's the gumbo. So now we have a seafood okra gumbo. Order online. If I want it, so they're ranked #1 for the gumbo search. They're cheating a little bit. They have the word gumbo in their name, the Gumbo Shop. If I were trying to outrank them, I would be working to build additional topical relevance for gumbo itself. So they have the gumbo recipe, which is a really good start. I would want to link to the recipe from the actual menu. I would want this page to link back to the homepage or link back to the menu. It does neither of those things. I would really be trying to push hard to build this topical relevance for this specific dish. You can see the website itself is pretty small, only 25 results. That tells me maybe the search isn't as competitive as I thought it was. Okay, let's take a look at Mulate's. They were ranked 2nd for gumbo, or 3rd. Let's take a look at Mulate's. They were ranked 3rd for Gumbo New Orleans, 4.1 rating, so not awesome, but let's take a look what we have. Did you know we do catering? Again, this is too soon, right? I just landed on this website. I've never been here before. I've never eaten here. Why would I hire them to do catering? Go ahead and have this pop up if you want, but give it a little bit of time first. This animated hero image, we've split tested this. This typically doesn't perform very well. People often bounce from the animated hero image. So, if you have a website, I would highly encourage you to not use an animated hero image. Just a static hero image will typically work best. We got the address there. Great. Catering again. Reservations, another animated image, not awesome. I don't like that. Keeps coming. We got a bunch of, what happens if I click on it? Okay, it just makes the image bigger. So it doesn't, I was hoping that would bring me to a page that was about this dish, but it doesn't. It just makes it bigger. No problem. We got a couple of reviews, but if you've seen this before, you know what I'm going to complain about. I want to see this embedded from Google. I don't want to see that they have copied text from the reviews and put it here, because they could write anything they want here, right? So I want to see these embedded from Google. I want to see Google's colors, make it very clear that these are Google's reviews. They haven't futzed with them, anything like that. Okay, and we don't really see their GBP embed or anything like that. Let's see. The title tag, Original Cajun Restaurant Warehouse District, New Orleans, and I don't see their H1. So their ranking, it almost seems accidental, if I'm being honest. There's not very much that would lead me to believe that the ranking. It's a small website, only 10 results. I'm also curious about what we have for schema. Schema is structured data. The way that I think about schema is it is essentially like labels on moving boxes. So when Google or an AI tool crawls your website, the schema labels the website for what it is, just like you would label a moving box. Now, Google, of course, has X-ray vision, very good at crawling. It's been crawling for 25 years. So even if you don't have schema, Google can often see a lot of it anyway. But the AI tools, they really struggle. If you don't have any schema at all, the AI tools, they're going to have to take their time. They're not as good as crawling. They're not as efficient as Google. So having schema is really, really good for the AI tools. It's pretty good for Google. Okay, they don't have any local business schema. That's really what I was hoping to see. They have rating schema, but there's nothing really there. So they really basically completely lack schema. And let me look at Mulate's, run a new test. I'll put Mulate's in there. No items. So they have absolutely no schema. It makes me feel kind of bad because Mulate's, they're clearly paying someone to build their website, and there's some very basic stuff missing there. But again, the rank number 2, just usually a sign of low competition that they've made these mistakes. They're still ranked. So let's take a look at Napoleon House, because that's actually a solid place. Better reviews than any of the top 3, more reviews than than 2 of the top 3, yet they're ranked in the 5th position. So let's take a look at the Napoleon House. What do we have in the title tag? Napoleon House in the French Quarter, New Orleans. So it's the brand and the city name. I would like to see, obviously they do a lot more than just gumbo. So I would like to see the fact that it's a restaurant. Let me take a look. What is their primary category? Restaurant. So I would like to have restaurant in the title tag. They also have this animated hero image, which I just talked about how I don't like this. And I don't really experience the ambience of old New Orleans. Again, this is not a very good H1, not a very good primary heading. We want to talk about the what they are, a restaurant in New Orleans, not experience the ambience. So little changes like this, where I bet they would rank higher just from adding the word restaurant or Cajun restaurant to their title tag, doing the same on their H1 tag. So let me keep scrolling. Normally I say don't talk about yourself, because if somebody's landed on your website, they really care about themselves, not about you, not about your business, not about your history. In this case, they've been around for over 100 years, so they can mention that. But let's keep coming down. There's highlighting the muffaletta and the Pim's cup. I might highlight the gumbo here also. I know gumbo obviously is a very popular dish in New Orleans. I don't know if the Napoleon House is known for the gumbo, but they certainly serve it like most other restaurants. So I'm betting, if we did keyword research, if we looked at what entities people are looking for in the city of New Orleans, I mean, gumbo's got to be pretty high on that list, right? So if they're going to feature the muffaletta and the Pim's cup, I would feature gumbo, maybe some other things like crawfish etouffee, some classic New Orleans dishes that would really help them rank for those dishes that people are looking for. And if I click on this link, I get a video. What I would want to see, I want this to be a link. I want them to link to a page that goes into deeper information about the muffaletta, maybe even giving their recipe. Same thing for the Pim's cup, same thing for gumbo, because if they had a fourth one, a third, a fourth one, they had gumbo here, they link to a page where they talk about their gumbo, they give the recipe, they talk about how what was the founder's name? They talk about how the impastato, sounds like an impossible potato, right? So they talk about the impastato family, how in 1914 they started making gumbo, and the chef spends 3 hours making the roux, like an article like that where they give the recipe. You can see the place looks kind of beat up. It looks like it's been around for 100 years. That's one of the charms about it. It's fabulous. It's on Chartres Street. And for those of you who speak French, obviously this is in the French Quarter. And for those of you who are horrified that I'm pronouncing this as Chartres Street, I assure you that the locals in New Orleans pronounce this as Chartres Street. So yes, this was 500 Chartres Street. Apologies for anyone from France who's watching and their ears grate every time I say Chartres. Chartres. Yeah, anyway, okay. Private parties coming down. Okay, so then we got Instagram. That's cool to see. Don't have reviews embedded. Don't have the GBP embedded. Let me take a look at their schema markup. Run new test on the Napoleon House. No items. We're missing everything there. Let's take a look at what their menu looks like. Menu. Choose a menu. All right, main menu. Again, not clickable. Okay, so they do have the HTML menu, so that's good to see. Let's take a look. How big is the actual website? So if I do what I'm doing, and I did this with the other two, so if I do a site : search like that, I'm telling Google, show me results only from this domain. I can hit tools and see the size of the website. So they have 40 pages. So this is interesting, right? So it's a bigger website than the other ones, but there just isn't very much that talks about gumbo. I'm just interested. What if I do a site for gumbo? So that's, hey, Google, I want to find pages from this domain that talk about gumbo. What do we have? We have the menu, and the homepage. So not very much. Okay, this is why they're not ranking for gumbo. They just don't have very much on there about gumbo. So if the Napoleon House, if they're looking for some local SEO advice, if they want to rank higher for gumbo, they have some time before Mardi Gras, okay? It's not Mardi Gras yet, okay? It's getting close, but it's not quite Mardi Gras yet. So what I would do for them is I would create a page about the muffaletta. I'd create a page about the Pim's Cup. Then I would add gumbo. I would add etouffee. I might do some additional research. I'd look on Reddit. I'd look on PAA. What other common dishes in New Orleans are people looking for? Is it like turtle soup? Is it alligator? Any of these types of things that Napoleon House sells. I would look on Reddit. If you're interested in the prompt that we would use for this, there's a link to a school community in the description. I give that prompt there. It's a prompt where we have the AI models look on Reddit. Hey, what are people searching for? What are people asking about? You know, if people are visiting New Orleans, what food dishes are they excited about? What are they asking other people to recommend to them? As long as those items are on Napoleon House's menu, I would highlight them here. Link to, yeah? Are you interested in learning about gumbo too? Yeah? I would link to them here. I would write pages about them, give the recipes just to build that topical relevance for the pages that really matter, for the dishes that people are really searching for. I think that would be a slam dunk, and I bet Napoleon House could start ranking for Gumbo New Orleans in just a couple of weeks by building out that topical relevance in the right way. Okay, so let's take a look. I'm just curious. I have to see Mulate's. I have to see the reviews because 4.1, that's really surprising they're ranking so high. What do we have? Okay, so they have alligator bites. Great. Let me see. They loved it. They loved it. They always love it. They loved it. Okay, so everyone is really liking it here when it searched by more relevant. So let me take a quick look and search by lowest. One disappointing. Oh, food was delicious, but gave it 1 star. That's kind of weird, right? I don't usually give 1-star reviews if the food is delicious. All right, disappointed, small portion. So kind of interesting, right? So they have bad reviews, but it seems like people are upset more about the pricing than the actual food quality, except for Erica. Erica is upset about both. Let me take a look at the Gumbo Shop, because honestly, like, because I live very close to New Orleans. We're there pretty often. A place called the Gumbo Shop, I would dismiss out of hand as a tourist trap, and it's like right here in the quarter. So I'm just let me just. What do we have here? I'm gonna come. What I hit lowest, yeah. So they thought it was boring. Uh, we were sat next to a bucket of nasty smelling rags. Yeah, welcome to New Orleans, right? I mean, that's all I can say. That's not uncommon in New Orleans. Yeah, place is awful. Oh, so they use small shrimp. That's disappointing. At least that's what this person says. Bad service, even though it wasn't busy. Staff is awful. Let's see. This guy's saying just go make your own gumbo. Don't buy any here. So hopefully this was helpful. If you have a restaurant, right, make sure that you're putting all of the actual menu in there. Let me see if I can find, like, here, Zesty Creole 4.7. They have it. So it looks like most of these places have done the menu in the correct way. So that's good to see. Google can pull this, like if a user provides a photo of a menu. Dookie Chase is a classic. Lisa Chase's restaurant. If a user puts a photo of the menu on, Google will try to pull and fill this out for you, but it can make mistakes. So just make sure that you check it. Make sure it's accurate. Have descriptions of all the dishes. They have a couple here, but not of the sandwiches, not of any of the sides. We're just really working to build relevance. And then for those core dishes, treat them just like we would a core service or secondary category. Talk about them. Have a page about it. Talk about what makes yours unique, why people have to come and try yours. Do the research, figure out what food people are searching for in your area, and make sure you talk about that food. It's the exact same thing that we do for plumbers. We're just going to apply it here to restaurants. Hopefully, you're going to enjoy the Mardi Gras season in New Orleans.